Gather round. It's time for your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. Listen closely as your coaches discuss the culture, the economy, and the political scene, and how it affects your home and your real estate investments. Real Estate Chalk Talk is where you learn the science of buying and selling real estate and the art of living in your home. Your education begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group, hittnergroup.com, Hittner Group.com, 612-627-8000. At 612-627-8000. Give us a ring-a-ling-a-ling, and we'll be happy to have a chat with you about your real estate move and that first consultation with no cost and absolutely no obligation. Okay, so this is what I did this week, kids.
What'd you do?
I wanted to take a look. You know, there's been such unrest, let's just say, in the city of Minneapolis. Not Minnesota, just the city of Minneapolis. There seems to be a couple of people that are upset about different things, and they're marching in the streets. And I'm wondering, what impact would that have on our real estate market? And so I looked at that, and as it turns out, not much. And I'll give you some examples. Pending sales in Minneapolis year to date. I just looked at 1 year. So last year to at this time to this year at this time. Pending sales down 5.3%. Okay. Then I said, well, what about the 7-county metropolitan area? What about their pending sales? Well, their pending sales are off 0.5%. So both of them are down a little bit more in the city of Minneapolis. All right. What about the month's supply of inventory? How's that looking? 2.5 months for the city of Minneapolis, 2.4 months for the 7-county metropolitan area. Essentially no difference.
About the same.
Yeah, no difference. Homes for sale in the city of Minneapolis, down 2.4%. Homes for sale. Well, if you think that, oh boy, Minneapolis is falling apart, everyone would be bailing that our homes for sale would be up, right? Makes sense to me, but they're down. What about the 7-county metropolitan area? That's up 4.7%. So the general 7-county area is moving. Minneapolis seems to be not moving, right? Staying put for one reason or another. Showing volume. So just what's the volume of people going into our showing solutions and just booking showings? Well, showing volume in Minneapolis is down 5.8%. But showing volume in the 7-county metropolitan area is down 7.7%. That tells me that there's no significant impact on the city of Minneapolis. Average sale price in the city of Minneapolis up 3.9%. Average sale price in the 7-county metropolitan area up 3.7%. Once again, we're saying, doesn't seem to be having that much of an impact to me. I think that any impact that we're seeing now in terms of houses not coming on the market and number of showings down in both areas is more weather related than anything. Don't you think so?
Yeah, we've had we've had significant cold over the last couple of weeks. That certainly slows things down. But I was out showing houses when it was negative 10 degrees or whatever it was. Had a great tour over the weekend looking in homes all across the southern metro area. And then it was also out in Minneapolis looking at some great homes in where were we? In southwest Minneapolis anyhow. And then just neighboring in Edina. Cold tours. But we're running across people. I think the spring is starting to kick off. I'm getting a lot of calls for people that are looking out to get their houses on the market and start the search up. And I'm sure that you report that some pre-approvals are starting to come in and people are kind of gearing up and getting ready to go. But sounds like not a significant impact with the stuff that's going on.
Nope, I think that and if you don't, unless you're got your face buried in Facebook or the news all day long, you don't even know what's going on. I mean, you just have no idea that anything's even going on, because I went all around. I guess they had a ice out Friday or something like that where you weren't supposed to go to work and all that. Every place I went was open.
Yeah, South Metro.
Yeah.
So funny, that day, I was kids didn't have school because it was super cold.
Yeah.
And when that that March happened, which was amazing. I mean, it was amazing that there were so many people out in freezing cold weather, marching from, I think they went from US Bank Stadium down to the Target Center or whatever it was.
Okay.
So many people. Anyways, and good for them. That's not my speed. I have a different ways I like to help people, and so that's what I did myself, actually, to help some people. But my daughter, I called her because they didn't have school. So I called my daughter. I'm like, what are you doing in just north of the river there in Minneapolis right now?
You have tracker on her phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life 360.
Yeah, it's, just Apple, whatever. Anyways, we're thrifting. And I'm like, okay, you're with Trinity, my 11-year-old.
Yeah.
And Elsiana, my 16-year-old. And then one of her friends. They were over by Aveda, just across the river, and nearly downtown. I said, there's an enormous march. If you go south over Central and head into downtown, you're going to be stuck for 5 hours.
Yeah.
So get your butt on University, get back to 35, and go thrift at Goodwill in Eagan. Like, what are you doing? You're going to be stuck. It's kind of funny.
It's talk about
really? She's no idea. Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless you're one of that group, you have no idea what's going on. So I had 2 open houses last weekend. Sunday's open house was while it was snowing in a townhome development. They hadn't plowed the roads yet. They hadn't shoveled the sidewalks yet. It was a bust. It was just a disaster. Saturday, we did one in the city of St. Paul, right down the street from the cathedral. Wonderful traffic. I was shocked.
Yeah, how was that?
It was really good traffic. And here's what was surprising to me. So I had people in there from Salt Lake City relocating to the Twin Cities. I had people in there from Washington State, from Seattle, relocating to the Twin Cities. I had people in there from Washington, D.C., relocating to the Twin Cities.
Interesting.
It was very interesting. And they wanted to be in the city of St. Paul because that's where their kind of world was.
Yeah.
Every one of them either worked for University of Minnesota or some nonprofit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of the vibe, and you think, okay, St. Paul, government, nonprofits. That's kind of it's like.
How's that little house doing?
Good traffic. I had some real positive feedback on it. A couple of the people that were in, I had Marilyn with us on our new gal, and so she's talking to a couple of them that came through that seemed very interesting. So I'll have to stay with her and make sure that she.
Nice. Do you know the details on that house off the top of your head that you can tell people about?
I know the $300,000. I know that. I know it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, all updated on Englehart Avenue. I don't know the house number exactly. On Englehart Avenue in St. Paul. It is really a cute house. It's just a doggone cute house. And we had an architect that came through that lives just down in the neighborhood, a couple blocks over. And she's going through it with a fine-tooth comb. And she's a retired architect, but her daughter, she wants to move in. She said, who wouldn't want their daughter to live 2 blocks away?
Sure.
And so
it's
she
just
went
far
through,
enough, just close enough.
Yeah. And so she went through it, and she said, give me the thumbs up. She said, this is really done nice, really done well.
Cool. Is it in good shape, though? Like,
yeah, it's in very good shape.
Yeah?
Yep. Floor is
$300K, that's like...
It's so cheap, it's almost free.
Right.
I mean, really, it is.
$100K below median sales price.
Yeah.
I was going to say $300K, that's hard to come by.
No kidding. Yeah,
Great.
on a single-family home. You can get a nice townhouse in the burbs for $300,000 now.
So let's just quick bounce to the numbers here. Active listings, 5,028. 5528 active listings on the market, about the same as a week ago. Nothing's changed there. We're moving properties through now slowly at about 550 to 600 homes, new pendings a week. That's been pretty standard. Days on market kind of slipped down a little bit. 34 days on market are the new pendings. So the stuff that's coming
Selling
on,
a little faster.
I think the stuff that's coming on new is selling.
I'm seeing a lot of multiple offers, but I'm looking at nice stuff, in good in decent price ranges. And so these good, clean, moving ready homes right now, they're flying off the shelf with multiple offers.
Okay, so I'm talking to a Edina Realty agent that I'm trying to recruit over to our team. So I'm talking to her yesterday. She was at the house, and she was talking about trying to get our sales price up, average sale price up. And I said, why do you want to do that for? I said, just work the middle market.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just be Sears. And she didn't know who Sears was. Can you imagine that?
Senior.
Well, don't you just work what
be
you get?
Sears.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, but if you're going to spend money on marketing, if you're going to direct, what are you going to do? I said, go to the 80, go to the middle market, because of the whatever. What is the middle market? That was the conversation we got into then is, well, what is that middle market? Well, to me, the middle market is from 4 to 800,000. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be because you got some first-time home buyer at the 4 level, 350
Yeah,
level.
and where's new construction like 6 to 800,000?
Yep, and then you got the trophy houses.
Yeah.
You get into the trophy houses like our guest last week. It's just like that's such a small niche of the market. Even though Coldwell Banker controls like 67% of that price point.
Right. Yeah, it's fun to sell the big toilet.
Yeah.
But the meat of the market is where most of the transactions take place.
Yep.
Give us a call, 612-627-8000, 612-627-8000, or log on to our website, hittnergroup.com, Hittner Group.com, and we'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back to the program. Thanks for staying with us. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group, hittnergroup.com, Hittner Group.com, 612-627-8000, 612-627-8000. I think we're the longest running real estate program on radio. No?
Gotta be.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. All right, so I got a question. Eric Everson's in the studio, Action Moving.
Hey guys.
Hey, Eric.
What do you see?
Nice to see you.
Give people before I always forget about it, so give them the contact stuff so we get that out of the way.
Phone number 952-894-8888, and you can find us on our website at actionmoving.com.
All right, I've got a question for you. So I had a case recently where we had a trash out done on a house, and then they wanted some like good furniture moved to a different address, and they just had the same trash out company who happened to have a cube van move that furniture, and I'm like, ugh, that didn't seem like a good idea to me.
Yeah.
Is that a good idea?
I mean, it depends what you have, right? I mean, there's different levels for everything. And I've had clients say, oh, I just want you to throw all of our stuff in there. Don't worry about the pad wrapping.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about it. Just toss it in there. Okay, that's a certain level of consumer. That's not the way we operate.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to assume that everybody's stuff has to be cared for equally and treated very kindly and well. Because, they can say, oh, I'm not really worried about that. But then when it gets damaged when you're transporting it without a pad,
right,
next thing you know, that's the most valuable thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you really have to protect yourself and them and their furniture, of course, and get it from point A to point B safely. But, that situation that you mentioned might be something a consumer is willing to take on at a lower cost and less time and just take it with what it is. But, you're not going to get a claim settled out of that.
I think what they were also talking about, you can address this too, is like, well, their idea was to call a mover. They're going to come up with a great big semi-truck, and if they don't have a whole load, they're not interested in doing that. And it's like, well, no, we've actually had Eric come over and like move a piece.
Yeah, we do single items. Every mover operates differently, but for us, we assign the size of the truck for the size of the move.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only exception to that is when you go interstate moving. If you're moving out of state or maybe out of the country, then you're kind of going on that overseas jet, so to speak, instead of a smaller truck. But still, we handle those. We just either shuttle them with a small truck or we bring the big truck out to load it. But you're only taking part of the truck, and you're only paying for the part that.
So will you combine that then with another transport that's
Yep.
going out and fill out that truck, so it's not driving down the road empty?
Yeah, I mean we do have dates that we promise the client. So ultimately, if there's empty space and that truck's got to go, it's got to go. So sometimes there will be some empty space, especially this time of year when it's a little slower. But during the summer, no, we actually we haul a lot of cars too. But in the summer months, we will just put all of them on car carriers because we don't have the enclosed space to accommodate all the household that's out there at that time. So you can't take up that space with vehicles.
I just to reiterate or point out a little story. I've told this story many times. We had a client that was moving within the city, and they called the guys, just a couple of guys with a cube van to move. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know if that's such a great idea. Oh, yeah, but they're so cheap, and And so he had just purchased from Dayton's a brand new big hutch kind of a deal.
From Dayton's?
$8,000. From Dayton's furniture store. Whatever.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is a little while ago. And they dropped it off the back of the truck, and it just like exploded on the ground. Yeah. And the claim was settled at like $86 or something.
Okay.
That's all. They weighed it.
Yeah.
They weighed.
I'm surprised they even got that, to be honest. Most of those guys, we don't have insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
Generally speaking, if you care about your stuff, not a great idea.
What do you see then? What's the most? What I like to talk about. Everyone knows. Okay, I'm moving the couch to California. I'm moving here and there. I'm moving household furniture. That's like bread and butter stuff. Mm-hmm. What about I like to hear about the unusual items or the difficult things, the most challenging things, especially in light of the environment that we have in the global scene today. What is it the most challenging things that you come across?
Most challenging, they get to be the international moves where they ship unique stuff. Mm-hmm. This is actually about a couple years ago now. I had a guy over in Hudson who had a snowmobile collection, and he was shipping
snowmobile collection.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, he had like 3 40-foot containers full of snowmobiles that he stacked 2 levels.
Crazy.
And
that's
sold,
a couple bucks. That's the collection.
So he sold the collection to a museum like in Sweden. Huh. And so he had original manuals. He had all this cool stuff.
Wow.
And so we brought the containers out and, loading. Well, securing those things in there in such a way where you're maximizing space and making sure they don't bump into each other, and then making sure the manuals go with them. I mean, to me, that's kind of unique, fun puzzle solving. Yeah.
And they're not light. So, bouncing around, they got to, especially if they're stacked.
Did they drain them all and get the oil on them? You got to drain them all down. Yeah. He probably maybe had them that way. Or?
Yeah, he pretty much had them collection, show floor ready. Yeah. I think it
How was his facility then? Did he have just a barn with all that stuff?
He had like a Wisconsin property, a couple acres, had a house, had a shop, had a couple pole barns,
full of snowmobiles.
Yeah, and there was 2 of them that had quite the collection. And then he did have some other stuff at a museum that he was bringing over to add to this because he was looking to basically sell off the collection. Mm-hmm. He was getting up there in years and didn't want to deal with it later.
Did he have just a shingle outside of his place,
Joe's
snowmobile collection?
No.
Private.
Just the private.
Hidden obsession.
He just loved doing it. Yeah.
That's crazy. So old stuff, old
stuff.
John Deere.
Yeah.
Sleds,
I mean,
old Ski-Doos
Cub
and stuff.
Cadet stuff, and snow machine things, things that were almost nothing but tracks and a motor. You wouldn't sell that today.
That's cool.
Somebody get their arm taken off trying to start it. So and some of it was really unique, original, Series 1 numbers, which made his collection very desirable, which is why this museum was interested in it.
Yeah. So when you pack up, you crate all that stuff individually? Or
that stuff we did. So what we ended up doing is crating most everything on the bottom level, and then we built a structure over it, and then we put a series of crates on the top as well so you could double stack. And I think we ended up getting around 50 snowmobiles when all said and done in the three containers.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was a fun project to work on. Yeah.
Well, you're probably creating them similar to how they would come from a factory, wouldn't it?
Similar to that, yeah.
If they're being shipped out, new snowmobiles, they're all in boxes, all in wooden crates.
You see those driving down the road, the new Ski-Doos or whatever. They're just wooden crates. Yeah, similar to that.
Yeah. International moves now with the tariffs and all that that are going on. Does that impact you guys at all?
You would think it would, but actually we've seen an uptick in international.
Coming or going?
I would say more going, but some coming as well. And different places, I'm moving people to, I know I just had one to Lithuania. There's been a few, there's one to Costa Rica, like I mentioned earlier this week. Places that I don't normally ship to. It's always traditionally been Europe or Africa. Now it's kind of different places all over. So that's kind of unique.
How do you deal with a place that you've never sent anything to before? I mean, is there new...
Yeah,
you got to get access somehow.
I have
shipping it
connections
to an island somewhere.
all over the world, right? So we're part of the International Association of Movers. We're a huge network. We have over 5,000 members.
Okay.
So, and I've met a lot of the people in person. So what I first do is look at my destination. I have a partner there. Great. I reach out to them, establish contact, tell them what I have. They give me rates for their receiving delivery.
Okay.
I reach out to a forwarder, get their rates. They're like our travel agent for booking containers for ocean. You have to go through a licensed booker of that service. Like I or you can't just book a container.
Okay.
If you want to. So, and then I put it all together as a package for a client and, give them options like this is where you're at now. We can do this to save cost or this to save cost. Or
So the container then, is that one of those things that they set on a truck bed and drive out?
Yeah.
Is that what you load onto then, or do you
Yes.
load to your truck and then have to move it into the container?
We always try to load the container directly.
Okay.
But like I have one now where it's got like, a Can-Am and a motorcycle and a collector's car and this and that. Well, those are best dock loaded. But we'll put all the household goods on site in the one container. And then we build what you call bulkhead. So you load the household goods in the front. You build literally like a wall in there. And then you park whatever vehicle in behind you. Secure that. You got to have a certain number
Boy,
of
you better
travel
have that
space.
baby tied down because,
Yeah.
those things, they come with those great big grab things and forklifts and driving around. It's not.
Yeah,
They
I have a
have to be
customer
anchored.
that needs to send a bunch of stuff to Liberia.
Yeah.
Car, some household goods like furniture and things like that.
Cash.
So I've been wanted
Boxes.
No,
Is
you
it
just do
cash?
that through the airport.
Oh, you can just go through the airport with the cash.
Yeah.
You don't have to ship
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I've been.
Stuff it in the glove box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we just wrapped up another transaction, and so she needs to contact.
Oh, okay.
I told her to get in
Yeah,
touch
yeah.
with you because
Then
I don't
I'll
know how
help
she's
out.
been doing it, but she complains about the pricing a lot.
Yeah.
And so I
Well,
thought she could talk to you and see at least for a comparison.
I'm hearing that a lot too. I'm getting people that are shopping around multiple places because, like everything, prices.
Yeah,
have
prices are crazy.
Ridiculous.
We're going to head out to break. Thanks, Eric. Eric, Action Moving.
Thanks for having me, guys.
ActionMoving.com, right? Is
Yes.
that the
yes,
website, I assume?
actionmoving.com.
Got it.
The dubs before it.
There you go. 612-627-8000 is our phone number. Give us a call anytime. 612-627-8000 or HittnerGroup.com, HITTNER Group.com. We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group. HittnerGroup.com. I'll spell it for you. HITTNER Group, GROUP.com. HittnerGroup.com. 612-627-8000. 612-627-8000. Give us a call. We'd love to have a chat with you. All right, Eric. I'm curious about the continental United States of America and the movement throughout the country. What's hot and what's not? Where are people bailing out of? Where are people trending towards?
Yeah, so the Atlas Van Lines, which we're an Atlas Van Line agent, they publish a report once a year that kind of shows that. I recently shared it on our Facebook page. But in a sense, Minnesota was still an outbound state. It has been for a couple of years now. It has kind of come back to center, but it's still outbound. California was tremendously outbound, has also kind of drifted back to center a little bit. The inbound states are primarily, what you would think. They're, the Tennessees, Georgia, Florida, Texas, even New Mexico, Arizona. Those are some of the inbound states. They have more traffic coming in than out.
Of the southern states, which are the most popular? Can you remember?
Nashville, I know, has been hot.
Tennessee.
Yeah. I know that was the hottest one. I think in the most recent report, it's still there, if not close to there.
I'm surprised about that. People in my age group, I have a lot of friends that are looking to get out of Minnesota and just get south somewhere. And Tennessee does come up all the time. It surprised me because I think Florida or Texas,
Sure.
And then and they're curious about how they're looking. So they're Tennessee. They're looking at some specific areas in Tennessee. And then I said, what about South Carolina? And yep, they've looked at that and all that, and of course they're worried about where the hospitals are and health care and that kind of stuff. It's a curious conversation, but Tennessee comes up all the time.
Yeah. Georgia too, I've noticed that picking up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's they have good infrastructure as far as economic business opportunity, that sort of thing. Also, I think with all these big hurricanes and storms, I think a lot of people are just kind of like, I just want to be a little bit further north.
Yeah,
A little safer
They don't
from
wanna
a
go
weather
too far
standpoint.
north.
right. Yeah. 'cause
So you have that belt right there that
Yeah.
seems to be.
Yeah,
pretty
you're either
appealing.
not insured or your insurance is insane
right
in those areas.
Yeah. Also, taxes. Obviously, look at the tax-free states.
mm-hmm.
They're booming.
Yeah, and that was one of the things where they talked about where, I forget which 2 states were there, but there's 2 major metropolitan areas right across state lines from one another, and they live in one side and then shop in the other. Because there's the sales tax on one side is like 11%, and then if you cross the river over there, there's no sales tax. So it's like
Kansas City and Missouri or something?
no, it's
That's
not
what
that.
I was thinking.
It's
Yeah.
not that. It's more like something that borders Georgia.
Okay.
I think it was.
How about Arkansas? I know there's some retirement communities that I've helped some people
Yeah,
leave Minnesota and go to Arkansas, golf areas, things like that.
Pops up a little bit, but not nearly.
much.
The one I've seen, I guess, aside from Tennessee and Georgia, is Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah, people are like in that location.
Forget
as well.
about that state
I know
down
you
there.
do, don't you?
Yeah.
But more and more people are choosing that area. Also, years ago, it used to be as Arizona got really popular, people started drifting over to New Mexico. And I thought, New Mexico's the next, right?
Right.
But they kind of skipped over it, went to Texas.
Yeah.
You know,
Texas has got a huge Minnesota population down there. Yeah, all around.
it's an easy flight. You
Yeah.
can drive straight
And
down.
straight down 35, it's about a 24-hour drive, and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
You hit Dallas, and that whole North Dallas area is beautiful and nice homes, and very nice. And you get south. Texas is so huge.
It really
it's,
is.
It's like a country. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been there. You ever gone to like Corpus Christi or anything like that?
I was in Dallas yesterday, but
Okay.
Other than that,
Just flying through or just hanging out?
we had a conference there for 2 days.
interesting.
So, but yeah, it was a little warmer there.
There you go.
Not super warm, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cold across the country anyways.
yeah.
I think if I was going to blow out of Minnesota, I don't think I would never leave Minnesota, and it has nothing to do with anything other than my family is all here, and my businesses are here. It's just like I can't even imagine
How you could turn it. Yeah.
how I could turn that. I just
5 kids, bunch of
Yep.
grandkids. It's hard to unplug from that.
wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do it. But if I did, it'd be Texas. Because we have family in Texas too.
But you could go away for a few months.
Yeah, even that. 4 days is about my limit.
I know. We were talking about spring break this morning, and I'm like 7 days away from home. Ugh.
Yeah.
I get about 5 days,
Yeah.
and I'm just totally done.
Yep.
I
Me
did
too.
2 weeks one time. That was way too long.
I did that
Yeah.
once.
10 days is max.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah.
And my wife is like, we could stay another week. I was like, you kidding me? I'm ready to charter a plane.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Get on a cargo plane.
Yeah, anything.
outta
Just
here.
get me out of here.
Would it be different if you had like a southern home?
That's
like
what I'm
where you're
saying,
going to
like,
another house. Like that
If you had another home where
Yeah.
you like established, you could work, you could
Yeah.
you could go do that for 3 months.
Sure. I don't know. Miss hockey.
YOLO.
I miss all the hockey.
I
My
mean,
parents live in
Nope.
Mexico
Wouldn't
for
do
like
it.
7 weeks a
Really?
winter.
That's
Yep.
great.
They have for like the last 10 years.
Where in Mexico do they go?
Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down there.
But they like know everybody now.
Sure.
And
Yeah, you establish relationships
Yeah.
and you got your routines, and that sounds great.
Yeah, we have friends down there.
From
too.
Regina, Saskatchewan to Puerto
they
Vallarta.
they get out of Canada
Yeah.
down there. It's a little chilly.
Yeah.
I moved a lady one time from International Falls to Key West.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
That had to have been
that
the
is as
furthest
high as you
north
can
to
go.
south I could
Yeah.
ever do. Yeah.
That is right there. I Falls.
I Falls to Key West. She was like
That is the southernmost point of the continental
Yeah,
United States.
yeah.
In Key West, right there.
Key West is?
Yeah, and I would say, well,
I
Maine,
Falls is close, but
Maine
yeah.
kind of goes up.
Maine's a little bit more north,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
damn close though. That's
but
crazy.
it was close. I'm like, I think you're the furthest north to south I've ever done. You
I
know?
Falls.
Do you ever drive that highway from like Miami to Key West?
Yeah,
That's painful.
It is. I enjoyed it the first time, but then you're on your way home. You're like,
No.
I've seen
yeah.
all this.
And
Yeah.
that would be great if you're like stopping off
Yeah.
and checking different things. But yeah, after you've had the weekend
Yeah.
down there, you're
Traffic is horrible.
fly me
and
back.
It's painful.
You can fly right into Key West, though, so
Yeah.
you don't even
Yes,
need
you
to do
can.
that drive.
That's
Yeah,
what you
my
gotta
girlfriend
do.
and I did that because we were thinking, do that little drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, it's right into Key West. It was perfect, in and out.
Route 66. Take Route 66 across the country, east to west.
I remember I was in Fort Myers, and then I tried to go to Sanibel or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and that was too much for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
It's
That
just-
bridge.
it's just too much.
I wonder how that island's doing now.
Yeah, well, because the bridge get
Yeah.
knocked down.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're back up.
And a lot of the businesses aren't even open yet, and it's not a big island. So,
Yeah.
What about business moving?
yeah, we
You
do
know,
a lot of it.
Business, restaurants, stuff like that. What kind of business are you seeing
Well, so for a while there, a lot of restaurants closed right after the pandemic, and they were struggling. So we had there was a lot of people coming in saying, "Hey, I want to buy all this kitchen equipment from this restaurant." So we're moving stuff out, that sort of thing. We're still doing we swap a lot of equipment, refrigerators, commercial stoves, ovens. We go in there, swap them out for new equipment, and then we gather a bunch and send it out for disposal or recycling or whatever. We do that kind of work. Office moves are still pretty popular. I'm still getting it's amazing how many office spaces you come in, and it's like all these cubes have been barely used for years, and they're just disassembling, disposal. Right. And nobody wants them.
Nobody wants, you can't give them
there's
away.
So much of it out there right now. So
everyone's going to the open floor plan concept.
Yeah. Or no one's coming in
the
office.
Code for nobody coming in the office.
So I just did one actually where they are almost all remote, and so they don't need the space anymore. They're going to turn it into like a community center.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We speaking of restaurants, so I'm going back to Minneapolis, and have a conversation with someone this week, and saying, "Oh, look, all the restaurants are closing. Minneapolis, it's a disaster." So I thought, I'm just going to Google that and just going to check that out. And as it turns out, more restaurants have opened in Minneapolis than have closed. So there again,
where there's turnover, there's opportunity.
Yep. And the perception is all this churn, and it's it's a trouble and all. It isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't, because more. And there's as my research, I found a barbecue joint that is over by the International Market Square area there. That's like, I gotta check that place out because it looks good. It looks amazing.
Let's go. I love checking out new restaurants. Yeah. It's a fun thing to do.
Breweries too. They're taking a hit right now.
Yeah, they are.
They are taking a hit.
Yeah.
It's super popular, blow it up, bunch of breweries, and now they're like, ugh.
Something's going to come in their place.
Alcohol consumption's down too, I guess.
And the THC beverages, they say.
They're taking over a little bit. Yeah. Like, those are becoming more popular. And
breweries are down.
Yeah.
Sad to see.
Hey, our generation's still keeping them up, buddy.
But these newcomers, they don't drink the beer like they don't. Our age.
Lastly, before we head out to break, plug your business.
Oh, yeah. I'm Eric Everson, Action Moving Services, actionmoving.com, 952-894-8888.
As we're helping people prep for getting listings on the market, can you help people if we're doing like carpet cleaning or that type of thing? Yes. Everybody's like, I don't want to do it. Who can they call?
They can call me. I've had a lot of multi-stage moves where people are moving. Something's out, decluttering. When the home sells, they move it out, and then they get the new place. They do carpet, we move in floor 1. They do walls, we move in floor 2. You know? And then eventually they have some longer-term storage. Then when they have space in the garage in the spring, they'll have us move it in there.
So we can go to actionmoving.com as we're preparing homes for sale this spring. If you're interested in selling your home, give us a call at 612-627-8000. That number again is 612-627-8000. And you can always log on to our website, hittnergroup.com, HITTNER group.com. There you can check your home value, search for properties, all online.
Wow.
At hittnergroup.com, and we'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Fourth and final segment of the big program for this week. Jared Hanowski is in for Kelvin, Loan Depot. LoanDepot.com. Give your phone number out quick.
Sure. My name's Jared with Loan Depot. Number is 612-432-2252.
Are there dashes between those? 612 dash?
Yeah, 612-432-2252.
Okay, that's for the people in Iowa.
Yep.
All right. What's going on in the money market?
In the money market, let's see. Interest rates compared to last year are a little bit lower. So that's good for consumers out there.
That is good.
Yeah.
Good to see. Heading into the spring with a little bit softer rate.
Little rates are, in low 6s. You could sneak into the high 5s.
Without too much trouble?
Without too much trouble, yeah, depending on the scenario. I was just at a conference down in Dallas for our company, so they think interest rates possibly this year might get, solidly into the 5s. So that'd be nice to see. I think that would spark a lot of action in the marketplace.
5.875.
Yeah, something like 5.875 with no buy down.
Yep.
You can get to 5.875 or lower right now if you're going to buy it down with points.
How many points?
Generally about 1 at about 5.875 or 5.99.
With decent credit.
With decent credit, conventional financing. FHA financing, you can get a little bit lower interest rate. However, You're going to have some mortgage insurance premiums that you probably wouldn't do an FHA loan if you could qualify for a conventional, just to save on some of those mortgage insurance costs. But yeah, a lot of people that have been locking in to interest rates in the 5s. The last couple weeks has been a little bit choppy for interest rates. They've gone up a little bit.
But they're always choppy.
Why is that now?
Well, some of the stuff came out with, they're going to have a new Fed
chair.
guy. So that spooked the markets a little bit.
Just cause,
yeah. But like, for example, private payrolls came out yesterday for ADP, and they were a lot less than expected. So that helps the market a little bit. So, interest rates, every interest rate comes with a cost. So, the lower the interest rate, the more it costs, and vice versa. I always tell clients, if you want the lowest interest rate, that's like buying a real nice car. It's going to cost more up front versus a higher interest rate where it's not going to cost as much. So that's the changes that we see every day. An interest rate of 5.99, one day it might cost, $1,000 more than the next, depending on what the market does. So I think sometimes clients just think there's like one rate out there,
right?
And they come to you, and then one thing to keep in mind while you're looking at interest rates on the internet, or you're getting spammed with emails, you have to take into account what that price and what's going into that pricing. So a lot of times the advertisements you see are going to be with like 1 point buying the interest rate down.
Perfect credit.
It's going to be perfect credit. It's generally going to be a loan to value of a down payment of 25% or more. So talk to your loan officers. Call us at Loan Depot. We'd love for more people to call us, and we can take a look at your situation, get you pre-approved if you're going to buy a place here in the spring. Because like Keith had said in a segment, the first or second segment, there's multiple offers on clean houses. So if you're not pre-approved and ready to go when you go out to purchase the home, you're not going to be able to get it because there's going to be a bunch of other buyers out there in front of you.
So when people are comparing rates, then you have them pay attention to the APR, or what should they look at?
The main thing that I tell our clients to look at, obviously the interest rate, the cost for the interest rate, and then the lender fees. Generally, all the third-party fees that you're going to have are going to be the same generally for all mortgage companies. Your title fees, your government mortgage registration tax, escrow setups, which are going to be your homeowner's insurance and property taxes. And then there's some other miscellaneous fees, like when you buy a condo. Those are all going to be the same no matter who you use.
Because you don't have any control over it.
Yeah, 100%. So you want to make sure you have the right information.
Sometimes, right, because the estimates can be off, and it can throw off then
the cash to close.
Right, and what that looks like for the consumer.
Right. So we'll see estimates from, they talk to some bank that they found online, and there's no relationship. They're not in the same marketplace, and they're missing all types of stuff. They're missing 1 year of insurance that needs to be paid up front. They're missing, month condo dues that need to be paid if you're buying a condo. So they're missing the a lot of real estate companies have an administration fee. Yeah. And that's just what the realtor has to pay their brokerage, basically, so the brokerage can operate. And they're missing that. So they, you'll see estimates where they're off by like $2,000 to $3,000. Interest rate might, so that's kind of you want to sit down with somebody, especially if you're purchasing a home. And to refinance, and just make sure that all the numbers are correct, so you have a really good idea what to budget for that day of closing.
We had a case this week where we had a sale on a townhouse. A townhouse, the association has a 10% deductible on their insurance, and when the buyer, not my buyer, but someone else's, came in and got their insurance quote, the insurance company said, "Well, you've got to now insure the entire building. We won't let you just," because they don't have this is the mortgage company was saying, you had to insure the building.
So they had to get a full
thing. And so their insurance, suddenly it's like they're paying, $4,000 a year.
So they had to insure like the whole building
the
condo was in?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah. And it was just a fourplex, but still. And so she walked away. She said, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's not cheap.
Yeah. And I said, well, that's not true. First of all, it's not true, because I know Loan Depot will has a workaround for that.
Yeah. So it's just the difference. Sometimes, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have different requirements on their insurance if you're in a condominium. So yeah, we have a whole condo department that handles all those types of things. So we'll send it in. They'll say, yeah, this works, not to get too technical, but this works with Freddie Mac financing. We need to do this. The client might need to buy some additional insurance coverage to cover a gap.
From their HO6.
Yeah, for their HO6 that isn't covered.
But it isn't the lender requiring the entire building to be. That's what was happening here. And I said,
yeah.
And of course, it's a new agent who, from another company knows nothing.
Right.
And, he was just like, thank you. So I gave him your contact information and said, call these guys. If the buyer really wants to buy the building, call these guys because, that's just not true. I know that there's a workaround on that.
Yeah, we got a handful of deals done last year that 2 or 3 other places in town couldn't get done. Loan Depot is one of the bigger independent mortgage banks in the country. We do have some leadership that has really good relationships with, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. So, like last year, we did a couple deals through Freddie Mac that other places were not able to get done. So that gives us a little bit of an advantage sometimes. And then speaking of those people and just coming from a conference, we were talking to get a little bit a different topic, but we went over a lot about how AI is going to affect our business moving forward. So there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline in the mortgage industry that hopefully will make it easier for clients to get a mortgage, just limiting the documentation that they may need. We might be able to validate things easier through AI and make the whole process easier for consumers.
And that's been improving as
right.
Over the last 10 years. It's gotten much better.
Yeah. And then they're talking about AI loan officer assistance. So people calling, basically an AI person calling out to clients to check in, make sure they don't have any questions on their mortgage. So this is kind of different times, but it's coming down the pipeline, so everyone's going to have to adjust to it.
So with the AI, with the documentation, are you submitting documentation to an AI platform and they're scrubbing it, or what's happening there?
Yeah, 100% right. So this guy that works for Loan Depot now, he had started a company a couple of years back, but basically you can there's third-party vendors that report a lot of data for people that work for people in the United States, W-2 employees, not self-employed.
Yeah.
But you can take that data and put it into the system, and it'll basically just scrape that data and say, this guy's good to go. We saw, the information that we got from this vendor. His income's approved.
That's all we need.
Yeah, and then you don't really have to get pay stubs, W-2s,
Run
all
to the
this
Social
stuff.
Security office.
Right, all the different stuff that we've seen over the years that you
Yeah.
need to get. Now you're still going to have your clients that have a little bit different scenario.
Right.
Sometimes, there's
some
a lot of
unique scenarios.
So,
bumps and bruises, and
And business owners.
and some
things like that.
self-employed stuff.
yeah, business owners, with the tax returns, but
Which is always got to just verify, because people are living like they are making $500,000 a year, but they're showing
right.
little net income.
But we are nowadays, and I'm sure Kelvin's probably
Just
talking.
looking at you, Senior. You guys can't see me because this is radio, but I'm looking at you, Senior.
Right. Well, there is a lot of products out there now, though, that have came, into the marketplace the last 2-3 years. They're called non-QM, but it's like bank statement loans, all types of different things that are in the marketplace, and those are catching up even on interest rates. So if you have a different situation out there, you're a business owner, you don't think you can qualify, we can look at 12 months bank statements. If you have a lot of assets, we can just use your assets to qualify for a loan. So
Stated income, baby.
Hey, a lot of different ways to make money, man. I mean, especially nowadays with the internet, social media, like how these kids are making money.
Gig economy.
Yeah, gig economy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, Jared Hanowski, Loan Depot, give us your contact information.
Once again, number is 612-432-2252. Give us a call. We'd love to help you out, get you pre-approved for this spring market that's coming up.
Here we go. Spring market real estate 2026. Give us a call, 612-627-8000. That number again is 612-627-8000. Log on to our website, hittnergroup.com, HITTNER group.com, and we'll see you next week.